Hello, beautiful Cancer Moon souls, and welcome to your channeled tarot reading prediction for the new moon happening in Scorpio on the 15th of November. Stay tuned. Cancer moons, as I tap into your energy, I really feel huge heart opening happening for you around this time. And the thing is, there have been a lot of challenges with the Mars retrograde, with the Mercury retrograde, but with each challenge you have managed, even when you've maybe lost your cool, you have managed to eventually reel yourself back in, tap into the heart space, and come at it with love, right? So there've been tensions in the family environment, there've been tensions in your relationships, there've been miscommunications, but often those miscommunications, they cause a bit of a problem and a bit of conversation and difficulty and argumentation, and then you reach a point of new understanding because of that unpacking process, right? Because of that miscommunication, and new bridges are built and new heart-opening spaces and portals are tapped into in more profound and healing ways. So much healing is occurring for you now in the home space and in the interpersonal relationships. Trust me, the difficult aspects of that is that we need to talk about the things that we need to talk about. And sometimes that means an argument, and sometimes that means we're feeling triggered. And sometimes that means there's a little bit of shouting and a little bit of sadness and crying and purging. And Cancer moons, you know the powerful releasing energy of allowing yourself to cry. It is cathartic. It does make you feel better. All right, so just a little bit in terms of the astrology, and I get my astrology information from Shani Nicholas, the astrology podcast, Tanya Gabrielle. So on November 3rd, we have Mercury stationing direct. On November 13th, we have Mars stationing direct. On November 6th, we have Mercury in a square with Saturn. I spoke quite a bit about Mercury-Saturn square last time around, this sense of shocking, revealing, difficult truths, right? We're seeing some difficult things emerge. For you guys, I'm feeling it more so in the interpersonal, but you can definitely see that reflection in terms of the collective, right? In terms of all of the difficult things that are being shown to us, all of the fallacies of our structures and the bullshit, essentially, the things that it's structured upon. Unfair dynamics, right? Unfair power dynamics. And the other thing, there is an opposition happening between Venus and Mars. I didn't write down when, but before the new moon. And this is again highlighting that power dynamic between masculine and feminine, right? Which is often reflected in the power dynamic between men and women. But we can really just talk about it in an energetic way, right? Because even within each individual has masculine and feminine energy, and we've all been taught to suppress that feminine aspect because of the kind of societies we're in. And of course it reflects in other ways in terms of racial dynamics and in terms of the ways our societies are structured in an unequal way, right? All of these things are being more powerfully shown to us so that we can change them. And so may we step into doing the personal inner work to release those kinds of foundations so that we can build new foundations that are based in, passing judgment upon our intuitive feelings and logical rational processes instead of preconceived notions that we've been taught and fed since youth. But seeing that we've been taught and fed that is a first and necessary step in the process. So we also have a lot of this Plutonian energy happening. We have a Pluto-Jupiter conjunction happening on November 12th. And, you know, this again is talking about that deep inner transformation happening on a collective level, happening within our legal governing systems. And quite often while we're moving through this process of change, things can be a bit messy. There's a lot of fighting, there's a lot of argumentation about which direction things need to go in. And of course, institutions really take much longer to change. You know, as an individual, we can change in 1 second, but an institution needs paperwork and people, all the people, right, to catch up. So that process does take a bit longer. It is a little bit more difficult, and the institutions are really battling through this transition right now, and we're seeing it. There's a lot of upheaval, there's a lot of miscommunication, right? But this Plutonian energy is really about purging. It's about the underworld. It's about the darkness. It's about going into the underworld, shining our light there, allowing something to die that no longer serves us so that we can re-arise as the phoenix, right? Phoenix being that symbol of Scorpio, and of course, Sun is in Scorpio right now. But for you guys on a very personal level, I really am just seeing new levels of patience and compassion being reached in terms of being able to open that heart space, to be compassionate towards the ways that people are perhaps sometimes feeling triggered by what you say, recognizing that that's also their thing to heal, but also recognizing that if they're triggered and then you feel triggered, that that's also your thing to deal with, right? And building those bridges of understanding and allowing yourself to come from that compassionate, heart-centered space, especially in terms of your love, romance, relationships. And for those singles out there, allow this to happen in terms of your parents, your friendships, and within yourself, so that you can be ready to attract that beautiful partnership as well. So in terms of the energy we have leading up to this new moon for you happening on the 15th, we have joy in the family. We have the clouds parting. So after there's been, you know, some tension, some argumentation in the family space, in the family unit, right? The clouds are parting and you're just like stepping back into that joy and going like, okay, this was actually necessary for us to move through. This was difficult, and maybe for some of you it actually resulted in illness because of all the stress, and then everyone's sick and everyone's grumpy and, you know, yes. But you're really just seeing like that weight lifted, and the clouds parting and the light starting to shine through, and you're like, okay, the end is near, like let's just keep pushing, everything's gonna be okay. I see how much healing has actually occurred because of this difficult process we've had to move through. And in terms of what's happening over this new moon for you, I want you guys to plant the seeds. For those of you who are in loving romance relationships, do a ritual together. Do a ritual together. Plant the seeds of what you want to see in your life together, what you want to see in your life for your family, and plant the seeds for what you want to see in your life in terms of career for each other together. Do this as a team, as a partnership, and call in spirit as the third part of that divine triad that is in a relationship always, right? The most successful relationships bring in that aspect of spirit. They understand it's not just the two, but the three. and allow yourself to forgive each other for all of the difficulty you've just moved through. Allow yourself to step now newly on your path. Commit to each other that you are not going to throw any of the past stuff at each other, that you fully turn over the new leaf so that you can allow that wheel of fortune to turn around for you. For those of you who are single, maybe you want to do this ritual with a beautiful friend, but I'm really just feeling that it's going to be powerful for you to work in partnership. And for those of you who this is not possible for, that's all right. Just call in the aid of spirit. And then in terms of the energy that we have for you after this new moon in Scorpio, we have an important message coming through. And it's feeling like a real life message, but for some of you it might be an intuitive message, it might be a message from spirit, it might come through the mouth of a friend, but it's feeling like it's quite a physical message that's going to, you know, it's that thing you've kind of been waiting for. And of course, while we've had Mars and Mercury retrograde, perhaps it's been difficult for that thing to move forward and you haven't had that go-ahead, but now you get that go-ahead and suddenly there's too much going on and suddenly you're feeling like you need to put in too many hours and you're not looking after yourself, and whoa, slow down. When you rush and you multitask and you split your energy, you actually give yourself a handbrake and you slow yourself down even more. Focus on one thing at a time. Prioritize taking a moment, even if it's only just one moment, to breathe in. Center yourself. Pull energy from the universe. Step into your power and then focus on the task at hand. Don't be thinking about everything else while you're doing that task. Then tick it off. Move on to the next task, right? Cut out burdensome activities from your schedule because it is a busy time. Things are moving chaotically fast and you don't need to take on extra work right now. Prioritize. Spend some time choosing your priorities, and if you've moved through this ritual that I've recommended for you, you already know your priorities because you know what your vision is for your future. So ask yourself, is this going to get me towards my goal? Is this a step in the right direction? If it isn't, snip. Simple as that, Cancer moons. Please bring heart meditation, meditating on your heart space, into your daily practice for maybe about a week or so. I highly recommend this. Maybe you want to meditate with a crystal at your heart. Maybe you wear a crystal necklace at your heart. But just bring your attention there. And, you know, maybe if you wear a crystal necklace that is near your heart all day, it'll help you to just remember to check in with how you're feeling, to channel the emotions through, to send love and compassion to every situation, especially when it's something that triggers you, especially when it's something that makes you upset or feel down. Just come back to that heart space, bring compassion, and most of all, bring compassion for yourself. Guys, please share with me, what are you manifesting this new moon for yourself? What new seeds of intention are you planting? Share with me your affirmations. I'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit subscribe, please hit like. This is how you can help me to grow and continue producing this content. It really is a lot of work and I love it so much. So thank you for watching. Thank you for doing this beautiful work. Thank you for choosing to shift into heart-centered living so that we can just manifest a better collective energy. Thank you for being here in this beautiful space. Oh, and please join me on Instagram and Facebook. I do a live every Tuesday on Instagram. I'd love to see you in that space. A lot more interactive. Of course, you're commenting live while I'm busy channeling the messages through, which is just specific for those people who are tuning in at that time. So I'd really love to see you there. Until next time, with love.